Caitlin Clark, trying to dodge the media after a win versus Italy, decided to drag her face across the all the logos because by the looks of things, I don't know if she wanted to ask any questions, but it seems like she decided to drag her face across a bunch of logos, which is kind of wild to think about, isn't it? It is kind of wild. But if you're seeing here, obviously, hiding, like, to avoid the interview, she pulled a 21 Savage, according to Van Shea here. 21 Savage walking past the media, basically hugging the wall. In fairness, Caitlin.
Most athletes smile for the cameras, say the right things, and follow the routine after a game. But Caitlin Clark did something completely different. Instead of stopping to talk to reporters after the Team USA game against Italy, she literally pressed her face against the sponsor board and slid along the wall just to avoid the media area. And honestly, considering everything the media has put her through over the past couple of years, many fans thought it was the most understandable reaction in professional sports. The internet reacted instantly. The moment spread across social media within hours and quickly gathered millions.
Who will present her with this prestigious TCL? Your first impression after your victory.
Team US. Some people were laughing at how committed she was to avoiding interviews, while others completely understood why she might not want to deal with reporters at that moment. Fans started debating the situation immediately. Was Clark justified in avoiding the media after everything that has happened? Or should a superstar athlete still stop and answer questions no matter what? To understand the moment, you have to picture the scene after the game. Team USA had just finished playing Italy. Players were walking through the mixed zone,
Hugging the wall. In fairness, Caitlin has her face against the wall. Someone, 10,000 likes, her putting her face against the wall. She was walking past their comms guys who was trying to grab players, talk to the press. She was not interested. Yeah. I'd say she was probably
the area where journalists stand after games hoping to grab quick interviews and reactions. In most sports, this is a normal routine. Players walk through, answer a few short questions, say something polite and predictable, and continue on their way. But Clark took a different route. Instead of slowing down near the reporters, she hugged the wall with her face pressed against the sponsor board, sliding along it so nobody could stop her for questions. It wasn't just a quick attempt to avoid attention. It looked like a full commitment to getting through the area without stopping for anyone. The photo captured the exact moment, and it quickly went viral. Fans compared it to someone sneaking past a crowd by hugging the wall so no one could grab them. The determination on Clark's face made it even funnier too. People watching online. Once she decided she wasn't stopping, she wasn't stopping. But the reason many fans supported the move had less to do with humor and more to do with context. For the past 2 years, Clark has been one of the most talked about players in basketball. With that attention has come an enormous amount of media coverage. Some of it has celebrated her success, but much of it has also created constant controversy around almost everything she does. One of the biggest examples came earlier in the tournament when the Player of the Game award went to Rhyne Howard instead of Clark. No one questioned Howard's talent or effort, but many fans were confused by the decision after looking at the numbers. Clark had finished the game with far more assists, creating scoring opportunities for teammates throughout the night. Several of Howard's points even came directly from Clark's passes. Despite that, Clark didn't receive the recognition. To many observers, it felt like the player who had controlled the offense and created the majority of scoring chances was being overlooked. Moments like that have contributed to the feeling among fans that Clark's performances are sometimes judged differently. Another example of the intense attention surrounding her happened during the Puerto Rico game. In the middle of a fast sequence on the court, Clark accidentally missed a high five from a teammate. It was a tiny moment that happens constantly during games when players are moving quickly, but the clip spread everywhere online. People replayed it repeatedly, trying to interpret it as a sign of tension or chemistry problems within the team. Analysts debated it. Social media turned it into a storyline. A simple missed high five became a full conversation about team dynamics. That level of scrutiny is something very few athletes experience. Every gesture, every facial expression, every interaction can become a headline. Clark has been operating under that microscope since. During her rookie season, she also dealt with extremely physical defense that sometimes went uncalled by referees. Those moments sparked debates about whether she was receiving fair treatment on the court. Some coverage acknowledged what was happening, while other coverage seemed to minimize it or frame it in ways that created even more controversy. Through all of it, Clark continued doing interviews and answering questions after games. She stayed professional, spoke respectfully about opponents and teammates, and handled the pressure that comes with being one of the biggest stars in the sport. That's why the sponsor board moment resonated with so many fans. Instead of seeing it as rude or disrespectful, many people saw it as a player who had simply decided she didn't need to participate in every single media interaction. She wasn't refusing all interviews. She wasn't making a dramatic statement. She was just choosing not to stop in that specific moment. And because Clark has built such a massive following, she doesn't rely on traditional media the same way athletes once did. Fans watch her games directly, follow her highlights online, and form their own opinions about her performances. That shift in the sports world changes the power dynamic. Years ago, athletes depended heavily on journalists to tell their stories. Today, superstars like Clark can reach millions of fans without going through those same channels. That's part of what made the moment so interesting. It wasn't just a funny image of a player avoiding interviews. It was also a small sign that some athletes now feel comfortable controlling when and how they interact with the media. Even her teammates seemed surprised when it happened. In the background of the photo, Angel Reese and Paige Bueckers appeared to be watching the situation unfold with confused expressions. The moment looked like one of those unexpected things that happens inside a team environment that makes everyone laugh afterward. Clark and Reese have had their competitive moments throughout the tournament, and their relationship has been analyzed heavily online. But in that moment, it seemed like everyone was simply reacting to the strange sight of Clark sliding along a sponsor board to escape interviews. Moments like that can actually bring teammates closer together because they become inside jokes. When something unexpected happens in a stressful environment like an international tournament, shared laughter can break tension instantly. Of course, avoiding the media completely isn't realistic for any professional athlete. Media coverage plays an important role in sports. It helps communicate stories to fans, provides analysis, and builds the overall narrative of competitions and players. Clark isn't cutting off the media entirely. She still participates in required press conferences and scheduled interviews. What she's doing is choosing which interactions are worth her time and energy. The mixed zone after a game can be chaotic. Reporters call out questions from different directions, microphones appear suddenly, and players are often exhausted after intense competition. For many athletes, those moments feel less like meaningful conversations and more like quick soundbite opportunities. In this case, Clark simply decided to keep walking. The image of her pressing her face against the sponsor board instantly became a viral moment because it captured something relatable. Many people have had situations where they wished they could quietly avoid an awkward conversation or a crowd of people asking questions. Clark just happened to do it in front of cameras. The reaction online showed how divided opinions can be when it comes to media relationships in sports. Some fans believe athletes should always stop and speak with reporters because it's part of the job. Others believe players have